We're here at OCI and we have found another brick. We try to look for bricks in the community and we have found one in Cocoa for Christ, and we have Olivia Drennan here with us. How you doing, Olivia?
I'm good, how are you?
Good. This young lady has just knocked my socks off. I was at a networking group and she came and spoke to our group and had the entire room attention and actually brought us to tears with her story. So I'm going to let her take it from here. Olivia, can you share your story with us?
So it was one day I was in Sunday school with two of my friends. I was 9 years old. It was 2017. And we were just talking. I think we were coloring or doing a craft. And we started talking like we should do something cool and like help people or something. And we just kind of wanted an excuse to hang out more and to just be cool, whatever that meant in our 9-year-old brains. And so we begged our parents for a play date, and we're like, okay, we can do this. Let's plan this all out. And so we decided we were gonna sell cocoa. My grandma's hot cocoa mix, and raise money for foster kids in our community. And so it never really registered to us, like, you know, what foster care is, what that means, like everything that goes into being a foster kid and what it means to help foster kids. That whole thing clicked a while down the road. But that first year, we mixed cocoa and we started selling, and like the amount of support we got was like overwhelming. Like it was crazy to little 9-year-old brains. And so we did it again, and we did it again, and now we're going into our 7th year, and we've expanded to helping more foster kids than we ever have before. We packed 268 duffel bags last year alone, and we've hit our 1,000th mark over the 6 years that we've been doing this, and expanded into helping foster kids move into their first apartments and other ways we can support them.
I just think that's amazing for, you say 9-year-old little brains, but for you to have that on site, that's a God wink to me. So I think God winks at us all the time, and he definitely gave you a purpose there, and you are God winks to so many, and to at such an early age act on that. Because a lot of times people get messages, or you have that gut instinct, or you have an idea that pops in your head and you're kind of like, yeah, no, not yet, or you kind of ignore it or whatever. And how blessed you are to have recognized it and followed through with it, even if it was just to hang out, but then also to have the support of your parents to make that happen. That's pretty special, and I think that's amazing that you're sharing that support and giving that, because so many of the kids, especially our foster kids, don't have that support, and they do. They just need that one person in their corner. And listening to you talk about helping them into their first apartment, you know, once they turn 18, they get a little bit of money and they're good luck. And so we as a community definitely need to be there and show them that there's a better way, and that they can do anything they put their minds to it. So you are an amazing young lady. At our networking event, you had shared a story about one of your classmates or something, and where you realized what you were actually doing. Do you mind sharing that with us?
So I was in 5th grade, and I was one of my really close friends, I found out, was an emergency place foster kid. And she started telling me her story over time, and I just started like seeing little things, puzzle pieces started falling into place in my mind. And it all kind of came together one day at my 5th grade Christmas party, when we brought Cocoa for Christ products to the Christmas party to have as our snack. And one of the parents mentioned something about it, and I started telling them what Cocoa for Christ was and what we did. And they said that their son was a foster kid, and they were getting ready to adopt him. And then a couple days later, a couple weeks later, I can't remember, he comes in with like the biggest smile ever, like little late to school, and he had some kind of fast food cup. I always thought that was so cool when I was in 5th grade. I don't know why, but he came in, he had the biggest smile ever. He'd always been really quiet, really subdued, like never said anything, never showed any emotion. And we're like, hey, what's up? Like, what's going on? He's like, I just got adopted. Like, I get to stay with my parents now. And so like, that's when all the puzzle pieces fell into place finally. And I realized foster kids are kids just like me. I'm surrounded with them every single day when I go to school. And they're just wanting to be loved. They're wanting to be treated like a person. When you're put in a foster home and then you're shuttled around to this home and that home, you don't feel human. You're just this property, kind of, that you're being thrown around by the state to different people. And so even if it's just one little thing that I can do to make somebody feel like they're seen, like they're loved, like they're not some random piece of property, they're a human, that's just what I want to do, is show some love.
Olivia, that is so huge. I really think, especially after the pandemic and when people were isolated and stuff, that people that we took that for granted. And I think sometimes, especially in today's world, we get so wrapped up in being offended or who's offending us, that we forget to be human. We're so concerned about how we look and how we act and what we're putting out on social media and living our quote unquote best life, that we are so detached. And so being human is so important. And for you to know that at such an early age is just remarkable, and to be doing something about it it's just inspiring, and why we want to make sure your story's told and that we can get you as much as possible, because we need more of that and we can learn a lot from you. So tell me about, so I know you come up with the duffel bags, and you had mentioned emergency placement. Expand a little bit on that and what it is that you're actually doing for those kids, and then bring us around to like the apartments and stuff like that.
So emergency placement is basically when you're just taken out of home very, very quickly, which is the larger percentage of foster kids in our system. So my experience and what I learned what emergency placement was in 5th grade, and one of my friends, and her parents were abusing each other, abusing her and her 7 siblings. And so one night she had gone to bed, and then next thing that she knew, she was being woken up, and there's caseworkers and policemen everywhere, and just taking her and her siblings out of her home. And she didn't know what was happening. She didn't get to grab anything of her own, and she was just put in a car and taken somewhere else. And now she was in a foster home with maybe 8 or 9 other foster kids, all around her age, but she did get to see her siblings or her parents very often. And so emergency placement just is that very like shocking. You don't know what to think. You're pulled out so fast, and so you don't get to grab anything, and you want something of your own. I remember talking to some of the girls that help us pack their duffel bags from our American Heritage Girls Troop, and they were talking about all these things that they would take with them. But I had to bring them back down. When these foster kids are being placed into homes, they don't get to bring anything. And I know you would want your bed and your bookshelf and all your books and your toys, but you don't get any of that. And so that's super important to me, is to show love and to give love and make them feel seen by giving them things that they can call their own, especially when they're being transported from home to home. To have something to hold their stuff, a duffel bag, and stuff to call their own is super important to me.
So what are the most common things that you give out? Because I do know that you specify the age, like you set these duffel bags up, and you want to know how old they are, and you've made connections with all of the support systems and all the school districts and things, so that you're in the know and when this is happening with these kids. And so what are some of the things that you're giving these kids, and especially in these situations?
We like to include games and toys for the younger ones, stuffed animals, blankets, school supplies, toiletries. For the teenagers, which is my favorite to pack, because I am one, we like to include, we've done pocket radios before with headphones, makeup, and like bath and beauty stuff for the girls, cute little purses, and like hats for the boys, and just all kinds of different things. Anything that I would want. Like, I put myself in their shoes. What would I want for me if I was in that situation? And so I just think about that, and I get those things. And if I wouldn't get it for myself, or if I wouldn't get it for my own kids, when I have kids, if I wouldn't get it for my own kids, I'm not going to get it for these foster kids. So like, I don't get them the 25-cent crayons that like break first thing first time you use them. Like, I want to make sure it's nice stuff, that they feel like they're human, they feel like they're loved, and not some second thought or worth 25 cents. Like,
Yeah.
they deserve nice stuff,
That's awesome.
and they deserve to be loved.
Well, and I think you really put a little perspective on that I put myself in their shoes. And that again is that human. So if we would put ourselves in others' shoes before judging or assuming or looking for the negative, and we look for the positive and we try to put ourselves in their place, then we can connect a little bit more. What has been your favorite thing since this has all started?
That's hard. Favorite thing, I love making connections. I love, finding foster kids' stories and seeing, just learning how I can help better. Like, obviously, the culmination of everything we do is packing nickel bags, providing resources and items for foster kids. There's a lot to go into that, and my favorite part of working towards that is just talking to people and making the connections and going to events to speak, and even just like the quiet things, the little relationships that I have with people and learning their stories. I love that part of it.
How are you mentoring or passing it on?
So I am graduating soon, so it's really sad, but I'm gonna have to start passing some responsibilities on. And so I've been bringing along and kind of keeping my eye out for other girls in our American Heritage Girls Troop that have a passion for helping other people, that see the needs in our community and that want to help solve those needs. And so right now, I have one. I have one that Tally. She's here today, and I think she's gonna be an amazing continuation of Cocoa for Christ, and can also take over for me.
Awesome. So remind us how old you are again.
I'm 15.
Because I found it quite amusing to myself that I was asking you how you were mentoring or passing it on when most kids haven't even started their first job yet. So again, I've said it 100 times, but well beyond her years, ladies and gentlemen. But to recognize leadership in others and help foster that and want to build other leaders, that, my friend, is a true leader. So what are your next goals with Cocoa for Christ?
I have a really big goal. Not sure we're gonna get there yet, but I would love to see Cocoa for Christ become like a national organization that other troops can take on and other girls can start in their communities, and they can help the foster kids in their communities, and that we'd be able to expand and just become something that's like really involved in the foster community, that all foster kids know exists and that it's there for them, and they can count on our help for their needs and resources.
Again, I'm probably sounding like a broken record, but I expected to hear you say Cocoa for Christ and selling my cocoa everywhere, but in fact you want to provide a means for others to serve, because you know that's where the real joy is, and bringing people along, which surpasses the cocoa, it surpasses the financial support to where you could do it all yourself. You want to pass on your business model, your service model, to where others can participate in that and spread and be that human. So I'm just in awe, so starstruck, because we definitely have one heck of a celebrity who is all about service and creating that human connection. How can we help it?
I think really just spreading the word and supporting us, making connections within the foster community and learning more about what we can do to help them, just being able to just look around, just see the needs that are there, and
starstruck with this young lady and what she's already accomplished and what she's continuing to accomplish, and that she doesn't just want to spread cocoa, she wants to spread service and opportunities for all young ladies, and I'm sure boys alike too, but you know, girls rock, right? So we really enjoy you. You can find them on cocoforchrist.org. I do believe you have a Facebook page as well and social media platforms, so anytime you see their stuff, or if you know of an opportunity with another American Heritage troop or school that wants to provide this too for the foster kids in their area, please contact them at cocoforchrist.org. Thanks so much, and Olivia, thanks for being a brick in our community.